أستاذة. السلام عليكم.
عليكم السلام يا بشر الإرسال.
طب الوست حتعطيك إياه.
أوكي إن شاء الله تمام.
هسه الوست يمك.
يا صار عندي.
نعم.
أوكي
نبدأ بالدرس إن شاء الله.
إن شاء الله. أوكي welcome back again. ونأمل يعني I hope you will continue with the sessions because as I previously said we must continue our practice to be better each time, and I was willing to start individual practices, but unfortunately, since we have missed some sessions, we couldn't go ahead with our milestones or our goals. So hopefully we will continue with our sessions on a regular basis, and welcome to the new participants. Miss Ghaitha, have you any idea about interpretation? Can you present yourself, please?
No, I think it's oral translation, immediately
Yes.
translation.
Yes. And what are you actually doing? Are you learning or you are immersed in translation services or interpretation?
Sophomore, I studied English literature. I'm from Syria, and
Well,
I am English teacher.
great. So you have a great level of English. You must have a great level of English. Okay, so let's start our interpretation practicing sessions as we previously have mentioned in our interpretation training sessions. Mainly interpretation is always challenging for interpreters. So we must acquire several skills besides our knowledge within the source and target language. And as we mentioned, we do have consecutive interpretation, visual interpretation, which we may have while having our regular sessions, which might be either in consecutive or simultaneous. Simultaneous level is much so difficult to acquire or to incur in this field because you have to manage several skills, and it demands a great time of preparing and training, because each session, either whether it is for the consecutive or simultaneous interpretation, you must prepare yourself physically and mentally. Physically, by sleeping well, be prepared, be calm, focused during your session, and prepare yourself with terminology, with language, some terminologies, vocabulary, train yourself if you have materials, or just search for any materials that may help you during your session for simultaneous interpretation. While consecutive interpretation, we have challenges that we may face because sometimes we don't even know what's the subject that might be talking about, or whatever circumstances that might occur during our consecutive interpretation sessions, especially if you are joining somebody in a trip, for example, or in a site visit or something like that. So we have managed about visual interpretation. We said that we sometimes have certain document or any presentation in front of us, and we must translate the written text orally. So these are the kind of interpretation that we might face while having our sessions. Well, the field I talk about, I don't have anything about it. Just make a reminder, Gaita. If you have any question, please let me know. You can freely open the mic and share your opinions. So this time I have chosen to talk somehow to practice visual, consecutive, and simultaneous interpretation will be our last step of training, and the impact of artificial intelligence to this and many other careers. Nowadays, managing computer skills and especially artificial intelligence is so important at the same time for our work, because we mainly can support ourselves by this technology with several kinds of programs that supports each field of work. Gaita, can you please explain what exactly you needed to know about what you asked to share?
When you explain, was reading from the file?
No, I was reading my mind.
Okay.
Okay, so you can find all these information in my previous sessions, Gaita, and you can contact me directly so I can provide all the text and presentations previously shared within the group. So just please get in touch with me and I will share all the presentations with you. The same for anyone else who didn't have access to previous presentations. You just may contact me directly so I can share with you all the presentations that we have shared with you previously or shared within the previous sessions. So the main agenda we're going to talk about today will be about tips and advices for aspiring interpreters, the impact of artificial intelligence on the translation and interpretation industry, as well as other careers, how the artificial intelligence is impacting this field, opportunities, future outlook, and we will have some training on interpretation and depending on the time and how we are going to develop this session. So let's pass to the tips and advices for aspiring interpreters. We have talked about this for a long while. We have managed to provide websites, to provide tips on how to practice, on how to improve our skills so we can be better interpreters, and how we can increase or start within this field. So, preparation. Anybody would like to read? Okay, anyway, I would like to have more participation, so I appreciate if you can participate as well. So, preparation, as always said, is the key for being a great interpreter. For example, at least if we do have any presentation, any material provided by our client, this will be a plus. Nevertheless, if we don't have any information, we must at least have certain knowledge about the company, about its about the main work this company or this organization do work on, and about the speakers, so we may have some idea about their interests, about their characteristic, how do they speak, how they manage, how their speech will be, and so on. So preparing ourselves would be the key for a great presentation, because somehow we are aware about the topic that is going to be spoken within the meeting, within the conference, or whatever. We'd have to make the interpretation. So we do have to familiarize ourselves with the topic of the meeting. Maybe we need to prepare some glossaries. If we do have the presentation, by taking a look on it, we may find out the terminology, some unknown words. Maybe if they are using words or abbreviations or acronyms, we must make sure what do they stand for, because sometimes there is certain acronyms or abbreviations that may vary depending on the subject. So they may be equal to another thing, but we must exactly know what will it be. And in this case, if we do have the previous preparation, we can know what do they stand for. I precise on this point because we know that in Arabic we don't have abbreviations or acronyms. So at least we must say the full meaning at the beginning, and then we can opt for by selecting. Sorry, I mixed up with Spanish. We must opt by looking for by using the abbreviation as it is in English. We mostly have to use the English version of the acronyms. Okay. So active listening is important. We must hear, we must have this ability. We must train our hearing or our listening skills by hearing, as I mentioned in the previous session, that we can practice the listening by just playing several videos, by playing any sounds in the target language, and trying to hear away accurately what is said. Maybe we can try writing down what is heard or activate then the subtitling, so we can manage to see if we have heard correctly or not. And this is a constant training that we must do to be better each time. So we must manage stress. Many cases, new increasing interpreters in the field may distract easily. So this is a disadvantage for an interpreter, because whatever people pass through, you must know how to control stress and limit your focus and your concentration to listening and interpreting. So let's just imagine you are in a booth for translation, for interpretation session, and how do you have to act? You may close your eyes. You may just concentrate on listening, analyzing the text within your brain to make the interpretation, and while your words are saying or speaking the interpretation. So this is the main idea. I'm listening, analyzing, and speaking. These three factors must be working at the same time. So we don't need any outside distraction. We must be concentrated and we mustn't get stressed, whatever the circumstances are. Because if you get distracted just for a minute, you will lose attention and you will be losing a great part of your interpretation. And thus, you won't be offering a good interpretation service. So continuous learning and practicing, as I said, we must, it's a non-stop learning mission for interpreters, especially nowadays that technology is so huge and is going so quickly that we must know how to manage and modern and be actual with our techniques, looking for new issues that may help us within our work, such as, for example, when it's about RSI or remote simultaneous interpretation, we may have several activities to help us. We may have to activate certain, for example, the subtitling or the artificial intelligence within the meeting. So you can have the subtitling down at the bottom of the screen, so you can, if you lose a word or maybe you didn't get an idea, so once you read it because it's in front of you, this will help you to improve your interpretation. Okay. Let's talk about the impact of artificial intelligence on the translation and interpretation industry. I guess nowadays everything is getting impacted by the artificial intelligence, and translation interpretation services won't be the exception. So the artificial intelligence is reshaping the translation and interpretation industry by enhancing efficiency, accuracy, and accessibility while offering significant benefits such as real-time translation and improved contextual understanding. And nowadays, we might see that whenever you travel to anywhere and you are not aware about the language spoken within this country, there is several applications that you may use. The most known is Google Translate, and there is another spoken application where you speak and try to translate as well. That may give you accuracy or may help to get at least some clear idea of what you want to communicate or the other people you're speaking to are trying to communicate. So this is as well is introducing in the translation and interpretation industry. Most of the companies nowadays are using or applying an automatic translator to all the languages they are working with. So this might be accurate, but as well, it needs somehow addition. So you might find some kind of support as to analyze text and to improve reduction or improve somehow the translation given by these automatic applications using the artificial intelligence. These may be accurate, but as well as as being accurate, it might have as well errors. So this is nowadays many of the companies around the world are using their translation services as editors for the text that the artificial intelligence or AI is producing. And this is mainly because many languages have certain limitation in handling cultural nuances and the need to overview it by a human being. So this somehow will help, but on the other hand, it may affect the prices that the translator may be earning for a full translation, and in the other hand, the edition. So the key to leveraging artificial intelligence effectively in this industry lies in balancing technological advancements with the irreplaceable skills and sensitivity of human translators and interpreters. Because sometimes if you try to translate, especially between Arabic and English or any other, mainly for Arabic, sometimes they don't get the exact wording that's meant to express in Arabic to be translated to any other languages, because we know that sometimes we use another expression that we need to express within certain words. So these are some challenging that the artificial intelligence may face that won't be accurate within the translation. So how artificial intelligence is impacting this field? We have the machine translation. We know that machine translation nowadays have several programs that will automatically help you to translate to other languages and improve the reduction. We have there is several applications that correct the reduction, that may correct the grammar. So this we can have advantage from these to make sure for certain wording, for certain terminologies, or review our reduction, because sometimes if you have a huge working hours, you may miss some small tips or small ideas that you can overcome them. So this is somehow a kind of support that we may have using the machine translation. Among other terms. So regarding machine translations, as I said, modern artificial intelligence-based translation use neural networking to improve accuracy and fluency, grammar addition, and many other things. Also, the real time. Meanwhile, the challenges that we may face in this aspect is the cultural, idiomatic expressions, and specialized terminologies, or maybe the abbreviations and acronyms, as I previously said. Regarding the speech recognition and syntactic synthesis, well, as we said previously, we do all have modern mobiles, modern computers, and most of them, as you may see, even I guess WhatsApp nowadays is using the artificial intelligence. So every day we are facing new challenges, new technologies, and we must Are you here? Are you still here? Okay, so,
Yeah, we hear you.
okay, great. So, what are the limitations of speech recognition and synthesis? Can anybody tell me what you may face with speech recognition and synthesis? Well, I guess I have only two participants, so you can feel free to open. So, when we do use voice assistants, sometimes they miss the pronunciation. So sometimes when you try to use it, maybe the automatic listening of the machine will not catch the accurate or the correct wording. So this will translate differently. And some dialect or accents may vary and won't be so the company wants. I'm sorry, I got distracted, sorry. So some technologies are being, this is mainly about the speech recognition, is that we don't have the accurate wording, or maybe won't understand our dialect, or if anybody will be speaking the colloquial way, so maybe these won't be yet addressed within the artificial intelligence. Regarding interpretation assistance, we do have the subtitling and captioning that will generate real-time subtitles, as I said previously, that will support the interpreter to mainly view the text in front of him, which will be a plus, especially if he got distracted or messed up with any wordings. On the contextual assistance, the artificial intelligence can provide interpreters with contextual information and backgrounds on topics, helping them deliver more accurate interpretation. Regarding limitations, well, we do have um, um, regarding the limitation, we don't have in the artificial intelligence, we don't have the human touch, the human sensibility, the human awareness of certain wordings that will make the difference of our own interpretation. As I said previously, within the machine translation, also the post-editing and quality assurance. This is one of the ways that will help, especially in translation, not mostly in interpretation, but yes, during the translation, we can use certain artificial intelligence tools that may help us to reformulate our translation, review the reduction, the grammatical errors, or any other things. We're presenting our translation in better performance and in better way. Okay. And at least I would like to share two more points here, which are the impact on our jobs, that automation and the artificial intelligence could lead to job displacement. Nevertheless, There is another task that we may have as editors. And unless we will be aware about the artificial intelligence, and some creations will create some opportunities for new roles as trainee, quality assurance specialist, but we must as well train ourselves on this new technology. Okay, these are some issues, Gaita. I guess you're the only one now. These are the same that I have spoken about in previous. You can go and read it and get back to me on any other information. Regarding pros and cons of AI in the translation and interpretation industry, it offers substantial benefits in the translation and interpretation industry, including increased efficiency, cost saving, and enhanced language support. It also presents challenges related to context, understanding data privacy, and potential job displacement. Balancing the advantages of AI with its limitations requires careful consideration and ongoing human oversight to ensure the technology enhances rather than detracts from the quality and effectiveness of translation and interpretation. Now, let's move to the pulse of artificial intelligence. We have increased efficiency and speed, cost effectiveness, real-time communication, terminology management, error detection, consistency and accuracy, enhanced language support, and personalization and customization. Meanwhile, the cons of the artificial intelligence, mainly in limited understanding of the context, because it's like a machine where you inserted several terminology, basic, and can't analyze the context in which these words are given. Ethical and privacy concerns, because using free versions of artificial intelligence may let all your information so sensible to be written or to be taken. For example, if I'm sharing now my presentation, the work I'm done, maybe anybody else will take it and present it as his or hers. So these are some challenges, and as well, the free versions may have some contextual and sensibility to personal and sensible information may be shared publicly. So these are some awareness that you may have. For example, if you use any artificial intelligence tool, it will always now alert you that your privacy would be make sure that your documents or the information you may sharing will be shared publicly or will be having access from unauthorized or persons that it's violating privacy, just to say that, something like that. It has training data limitation, lack of human touch. As I said previously, maybe the contextual, the human touch, the human ideology, or the human thinking will change and improve certain meanings that these tools won't have as well. Regarding job displacement, as I said, mostly by placing from being translators to being editors, and the complexity and cost of implementation. For the moment, implementing these tools may be so expensive. So these are basically the effects of artificial intelligence in this industry. So let's move to the interest part, and I hope you will be able to participate. Gaitha, I wonder if you are aware of how we do these practicing. We do open text, and what we try is to make the interpretation without reading. It said you will be reading the English text and will be translating at the same time. Is as if you are reading in the other language and speaking in the other languages at the same time. So Mr. Ahmed or Miss Gaitha, any one of you would like to try? Mr. Miss Gaitha, Mr. Ahmed, would you like to try, please?
I will try.
Okay. Did you get the idea? How do you have to make the interpretation? While reading, you just go ahead interpreting what are you reading, just visually, and your voice will be interpreting in the target language, in Arabic in this case.
You mean, should I translate after reading?
No. Well, the interpretation, as I said previously, for example, okay, I explain it for you in Arabic so it's maybe easier for you. Okay, هتقرأي أنت بس باللغة العربية بدون قراءة، يعني أنت عيونك بتقرأ بالإنجليزي يعني كلامك بيطلع بالعربي.
It's so hard.
This is the issue that we have to face.
Because I forget more than 1,000 vocab.
No problem, we'll try. You can select whatever paragraph you'd like to. You can take your time reading it first, because when you try to make interpretation, the person will be talking in English. Meanwhile, you'll be translating in Arabic. So it's at the same time, at the same moment, or in the consecutive, he stops to be able to translate. So it's as well short sentences, short time. And in the consecutive, you must depend on your memory and note taking, which is the previous session we did have.
Vocab are hard and strange for me.
Okay, Mr. Ahmed, would you like to give it a try?
The same issues.
Okay, let's try together. Would you like? Let's try it together. Let's try practicing. Okay. The COVID pandemic has accelerated the shift toward remote work. Which words are you facing problems with?
Pandemic.
Pandemic, جائحة. Okay. Can you try this paragraph, Raita?
No.
Okay. سارعت جائحة الكوفيد من الانتقال نحو العمل عن بعد. With many companies now adopting flexible work arrangement as a permanent option. Let me see if there is another one easier. Is it difficult for you? The rise of social media, more aspects of our lives, more online, cybersecurity, global trade, artificial intelligence. Do you have any? Okay. Anyway, I will send you this text so you can practice on it, but please just practice it because it will not gain anything from rewriting it. In previous sessions, we noted whenever you make automatic translation or another issue that may confront you. I will give you some tips that used to be done. Sometimes we use it, is using some tools when we are making a certain interpretation that you can use, for example, Google Translate or Microsoft Automatic Translator. So it will help you to get the idea or avoid certain wordings or terminology that you may face while interpreting. This can be managed when you are making remote simultaneous interpretation or maybe within a booth where you have access to your computer. Nevertheless, mostly in consecutive interpretation, you won't have these advantages because these are mostly within meetings, bilateral meetings, three parties meetings, or more persons meetings. So the only thing you may have is take your notes within a copybook or any note-taking book. So this would be more challenging. So we must be aware of these aspects, and if we are going to work as interpreters, we have much to work on prior to this. So I will be sharing with you these texts for consecutive, simultaneous, and let me check out. I wonder why it's not allowing me to open these files. Consecutive, simultaneous text. Okay. Do you find these easier to translate if we are facing an interpretation? Raita, I guess this is easier.
Yes. It's
Would you
simple than the previous.
Yes, this is a simulation of a conversation. So let's try. For example, I will be talking, then we'll stop. You may read, stop, and then make the translation. Can you try, please, the first paragraph? Or would you like another option? I guess I have more options. Critical topic that affects the climate change. We do have the Arab word, water security, or the first one, which is healthcare? Which one would you like to try? I guess this one is easier. Good morning, everyone. Today I will be discussing the impact of artificial intelligence or AI on the healthcare industry. As AI technologies continue to evolve, they are increasingly being integrated into various aspects of healthcare, from the diagnosis to treatment, and even patient care. Can you go ahead, Gaita? Try to translate it.
The title تأثير الذكاء الاصطناعي على العناية بالصحة.
Great. And the paragraph I've read.
أسعد الله صباحكم. ممكن.
ممتاز. أوعمتم صباحا. أسعد الله أوقاتكم. Okay. You don't need to translate every word. You just have,
Yeah.
while interpreting, is to get to the main idea and be the most accurate you can. سنناقش اليوم أثر الذكاء الاصطناعي أو ما يسمى بال AI على قطاع. ممكن تقولي قطاع أو في قطاع الصحة أو في العناية الصحية
أو مجال يعني.
أو بمجال.
involve يتضمن أو
evolve يعني إنه تتطور.
like develop.
evolve. Okay, seems you are facing so much difficulties to manage these texts. So we'll send them by within the group so you can practice on them, and we are going to talk about them in our next session on Saturday.
Okay.
So we have I will send these PDF files where there is certain text and the simulation of scenarios for consecutive interpretation. And these will be interpretation simulations, as we said, as we've seen previously. And you can watch all the previous sessions so you might be aware about the topics we have talked about previously. In our 7th session, Ms. Gaitha, the number 7, the last previous one, at the beginning of August, we have talked about note-taking, and I have provided several links where you can train yourself on note-taking and some trainee videos about consecutive interpretation. So you may have many topics, many important information within these links. And at the beginning of next session, we will be discussing if you have any issue regarding interpretation, either consecutive or simultaneous interpretation, or any other topic or subject that we have talked about previously. Do you have any comments? Since we don't have many people and you are not ready to make the practice yet for interpretation, I guess we have to finish with this session unless you have any comments would like to share with me or with anybody else.
Is the body language related to the or affect understanding, interpretation, translation?
Well, you must be so professional. Body language, in what term exactly?
If I don't understand some vocab, maybe, can I get it from body language?
Well, actually, you won't have it from body language. It's difficult to be certain from body language what is the main idea. Actually, it depends on the cases because each case is special. Each case is a new challenge. As I always said, I'm working with interpretation for more than 10 years, and each session I do have is a new challenge for me. For example, next week I'm having another challenge with a group that we are going on-site interpretation. And I wonder what I'm going to face because I know nothing about the event. I know nothing, and I'll be joining a small team where I will be challenged within what are they going to talk about. So each session is challenging because you don't know what may occur, what you may have, and what's going to go within the session.
Okay,
So,
it's clear now.
okay, and whenever it's simultaneous interpretation, you are in a booth, so you're not with the public. So you won't be able sometimes is just to hear the speaker. You can't see his body, neither his expressions. Maybe you can feel the expressions within the words. And this is also so important because an interpreter, even if you make an error within your interpretation, you must know how to manage yourself and how to control your impressions and stress because it will be noted within your voice and will affect your interpretation. So that's why interpretation field is so challenging.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Raisa, and thank you, everybody. I wonder if more people is watching through YouTube, so thank you very much. And any question that you may have, you can get back to me within the chat of the group. Thank you, Ms. Raisa, and good night, everybody.
Thank you for giving your time.
I hope you can watch the previous interpretation sessions within the links.
What's the name of the channel?
Well, it's Mr. Look, I will show you how you can get to any one of them. I will get to one of these links. As you can see, once you click on the link, you will be watching the you can go ahead to the interpretation session, which was given. These are the first one. We gave them in Arabic, then we opt by giving them on English language. So this is the first session, and as you can see, you will get directly to the session. And you can get back to me directly to WhatsApp, so I can provide you with all the presentations that we have exposed.
Okay, thank you for your supporting.
Thank you very much as well. Thank you for your assistance. And good night.
Good night.